Good morning, everyone. As you know, United States has sent a task force towards Iran, as President Trump called it, a big armada. You know the news, and I wanted to talk about this Iran game today, uh, and something that they call the Iran gamble, really. All right, let's see why I call it the Iran gamble. Iran gamble. Uh, if you look at the chance of success for this type of operation, right, historically speaking, U.S. has done, this type of intervention and interference, military interference in other countries before U.S. Other uh, uh, imperialistic powers such as British and Spanish, Portuguese, they have done similar things. This is not new, right? This has been going on for I would say thousands of years, and we have a lot of historical precedents to this. If you look at just at the if you look just at the modern history, let's say in 20th century and 21st. Uh, just quickly going over different incidents similar to this, you can immediately see that these type of operations have a very low probability of success. Of course, in 21st century, we all know about Afghanistan and Iraq. These two samples completely mess ups by our government. So that's that. But before that, if you go into in 20th century, you will see similar that generally these type of operations have very low probability of success. All right. So that's first. And again, if you look at the history of these operations, you will see that the highest chance, the most likely outcome of these operations is instability and factional struggle inside the countries. Right? Again, Iraq and Afghanistan, very good examples. You can go back to 20th century, you'll see similar examples. Okay? Again, instability and factional struggle inside the target country is the or most likely outcome out of this. All right. All right. So on top of that, there is also a chance that the regime itself will survive. That's another thing to take into account. All right. So given these, breakdown of history, uh, we can say that it is a gamble. Right now, like any other gambles, any other games, uh, you may gain something. Again, you have a small chance of success, and you have to see what you gain. How much you gain in that case. And now let's look at the gain. So let's see what's in it for us. Okay, if everything goes right, uh, has Iran ever attacked U.S. soil? No. Has Iran been active in invading or planning for U.S. soil attack? No. Sure, they have these rallies and demonstrations a couple of years that they bring this relatively large population. A whole bunch of free food and snack is involved. I know that. And this population in their demonstrations, they most are walking in the streets, and maybe a small portion of them they chant death to America for a couple of hours. All right, that they do. But if you look at it honestly, uh, if you slap any country with the same amount of sanctions that we have over Iran, it wouldn't be difficult to put together that population to chant this to America, right? Let's say hypothetically, if you slap similar sanctions on Vietnam, right? If we were to slap the same thing, set the same sanctions on Vietnam, I'm sure Vietnam, if they wanted to put together a population uh, to chant this to America, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't take them more than a couple of days, right? So that's that. In any case, they could chant this to America all day, every day. But the truth is, they have not attacked us, right? We have a red line. You can't have multiple red lines on every matter, right? In the matter of defense, we have one red line, right? And that is U.S. soil. Will defend U.S. soil. That's a red line, right? Which Iran has not crossed. Okay, so that's that. All right. So, in terms of gain for U.S., it is highly doubtful that there is any. Now, it will have some gain for Israel. Israel lives in Iran's neighborhood. They are enemies. Israel and Iran's regime are enemies. Iran has indeed actively invaded Israel's soil through Hamas and other, proxies that it has. Israel has invaded Iran's soil. That we know for sure. So they have these going on. So if there is a successful operation in Iran, you could tell now if Iran turned into democracy, there is a chance that things are going to be better for Israel. All right, now I said there is a chance. Is it guaranteed though? Do we absolutely know? Are we absolutely sure that if Iran, let's say, ends up with a democracy, things will be better for Israel? I argue not necessarily. I argue that not necessarily. You see, the entire Europe is democratic, right? Yet, Israel's prime minister cannot travel to Europe because he is a convicted war criminal according to Europe. He will be arrested. Good. Whole bunch of European countries they cut their weapons export to Israel. They had little. Some of them they had more. Sweden, France, and a few others. I don't follow it very closely, but they have cut their weapons export to Israel and plus some other trades as well. All right, and as I said, Israeli prime ministers and I would say Israeli top officials basically they kind of they don't dare traveling to Europe, right? Because they're scared that they would they would get arrested. All right, so if Iran ends up with a democracy, it may very well get a similar type of administration. All right, sure, it may not support Hamas or Hezbollah and all that, but Hamas and Hezbollah they may find other supporters. They may find I don't know Russia as their supporters. They may find China as their supporters. There are supporters out there. It's not only Iran that is willing to support them, right? So there are some Arab countries, that I assume would like to support them. Again, what I mean is that there is no guarantee that Hamas and Hezbollah will lose their support entirely, or even the majority of the support that they're getting. For second, there is no guarantee that Iran would support would support Israel or if Iran would turn pro-Israel. Turkey is another country is another power in that region, and Turkey is not pro-Israel. All right, so that's that. So the gain for Israel, I would say, even if this goes successfully, which has a very small chance, right? The gain for Israel may not be much. And again, we are not Israel. We are the United States. We have to see what is in it for us, which I said nothing or not much, really, right? Now, which brings us the cost that this will have for us. All right. Iran is a regional power. Iran is much more powerful than Iraq and Afghanistan back when we invaded Iraq and Afghanistan, and also now. Iran's population is more than Iraq's and Afghanistan's combined. Iran's technology is definitely more than those two countries combined. Iran's technology on short range missile or medium range missile matches ours. We saw that in the 12-day war with Israel. I am from Iran. I was born and raised in Iran. That even surprised me. But then, from what I know, they had a strategy. Their strategy worked. They figured out that they need to invest in missiles and drones, and they started this in 90s, in mid 90s. They, from what I remember, they tested their first missile. It was called, I think, Shahab 3, that could reach Israel with a 2,000-kilometer range in late 90s. And ever since, they have been focusing on manufacturing missiles, and they're just upping the technology. From what we can see, they have been upping the technology every couple of years, every few years. Even in attacking Israel, they were using better and better technology on almost a daily basis, and we know that they have, most likely better technologies that they haven't that they had not used against Israel. We also know that initially their drones and missiles were going through Iron Dome. I think 10% of them, then it increased to 20%. And I believe the last day they shot only two missiles towards Israel, and one got through. So if you go over the news, and or if you may remember from June, that the penetration of Iranian missiles into Israel territory and hitting the buildings was increasing in a frightening rate. They hit their Department of Defense, they hit their the Mossad headquartered. I mean, they could basically hit wherever they wanted to. All right, so that's that. Uh, so they're very capable, and that's in terms of missiles. We don't know what other technologies they have, right? We don't know that. I mean, we know in terms of missiles they are advanced. How about other stuff? We don't know that. All right, so that's that. Now, so that's first. Their resources, they have oil. They have a lot of oil, so that's that. And there are always customers for their oil, and they have been preparing for this day, for war with US for 40 years. Right, so they are prepared. They have good technology, uh, and the cost as a result of all of these for us, for the United States, will be massive. Will be massive, right? We can't fool ourselves, right? We can't fool ourselves on that. There are lives that are on the stake here, and the cost will be massive. For all we know, right? They may even have missiles that could reach US soil. We don't know that. All right, they do have a technology of the missiles that get out, goes outside of atmosphere and comes back. Right. I think that these are that's the technology that you need to have, right, for a type of missile that they use against Israel. For all we know, we may even have missiles that could reach US soil. Okay. So the cost will be massive. Uh, Now, all of this massive cost, very low probability of success. It's a huge gamble for us. Doesn't have anything for us in terms of gains. All of these begs the question again, that why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Right. That was my take. You guys have a good day.